Hey guys, what's going on? So, apparently, Senator Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the 2020 presidential race. This first came to my attention from articles that people were linking here on Facebook, as well as I brought up, pardon me, the New York Times article. This is from within about the past hour or so. And as we can see here, the title Bernie Sanders drops out of 2020 Democratic race for president. Mr. Sanders, a Democratic socialist making his second run for the White House, withdrew after a series of losses to Joseph R. Biden Jr., former vice president, who emerged as a presumptive nominee for the general election. So you can see Senator Sanders doesn't look quite as happy here. This article is brought to us by Sydney Ember. And apparently, this morning, Senator Sanders, during a live stream, announced that basically he was not going to be continuing on with his campaign here. Here we go. Mr. Sanders' exit from the race establishes former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. as a presumptive nominee to challenge President Trump and leaves the progressive movement without a prominent voice in the 2020 race. I cannot, in good conscience, continue to mount a campaign that cannot win and which would interfere with the important work required of all of us in this difficult hour, Mr. Sanders said over a live stream Wednesday morning, so earlier today. I mean, that's really noble of the guy. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, with everything that's going on right now, it's what are you going to do if he had the opportunity to get out there and campaign more? Because I mean, let's face it, you look at some of those Bernie rallies; they look pretty fun. Yeah, was there a scuffle here or there? Yeah. People do stupid things. This happens. Now, basically, this is to try to pool resources and everything to continue to basically see if maybe he could get some more leverage for different progressive goals and everything. These are a number of things that I've heard echoed from some of my other progressive friends as well. But it does seem here, and they kind of just go over his big push for a political revolution, and basically has just made a lot of the Democratic Party acknowledge a lot of other things, such as his championing for Medicare for all. I mean, in my opinion, the whole life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, at least two, if not three of those, seem to be, I don't know, in favor of that in some ways there. Yeah. You don't just do it overnight. It requires a lot of work. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what is hard and not what is easy. These are also very complex issues. But basically, yeah, they go through basically as he was announcing, going over, he was endorsed by Representative Ocasio-Cortez over there. And they basically just kind of lead back. So it's like you go back 2 or 3 months ago and look like Bernie might be the nominee. It's like he was tied with Mayor Pete in Iowa. He won New Hampshire. And it looked like Bernie was going to have a very strong showing, but didn't quite have the support that he needed and everything. It seemed like VP Biden just kept on racking up more and more wins and delegates. And at this point, I mean, Senator Sanders has had a good run. You know what? Hey, at the age of 78, it's dude, man, has accomplished a lot. He's inspired a lot of young folks as well, which having an old Jewish kid from the Bronx who's living up in Vermont to inspire millions of young people across the country. I mean, just even on that face, it's kind of inspiring here. Hey, you might not agree with the man, but he seems to have been pretty consistent over the years. You might say he's kind of flip-flopped or changed some things in more recent years. Some may say that's being pragmatic. Some folks would say he's compromising on principles. Hey, that's up for y'all to decide there. But just at the bottom here, yep. But in the days leading up to his withdrawal from the race, aides had come to believe that it was time to end the campaign. Some Mr. Sanders' closest advisors began mapping out the financial and political considerations for him and what scenarios would give him the maximum amount of leverage for his policy proposals, and some concluded it may be more beneficial for him to suspend his campaign. Because this is what typically happens. You'll see they don't necessarily say, I am ending, this is over. Very often they say, we are suspending our campaign. Why do you do that? Because at that point, you need to close up all those loose ends for the advertisers, for your campaign staff, and everything like that. Because basically, you're ending also a number of people's jobs. This is also a very difficult time to be without a job. So, this is one of those situations where Senator Sanders, it appears he's suspended his campaign. It appears he's in the process of wrapping things up. He said he was going to remain on the ballots where he was already there. If he earns some more delegates there, that does give him some more leverage when the DNC convention is actually held as well. And we'll have to see what happens. I mean, our minds are pretty much only on one thing at this time, but are other things going on in the world. Life is flow, so hey, thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody, and long live the elbow bump. Boop.